You're rummaging through a rarely visited antique shop. A full-length mirror covered in dust catches your eye. When you wipe your palm across the mirror's surface, a hand reaches from within and clutches your wrist. You need my help. This is a voice from darkness. Hello, this is Dr. Malcolm Ryder, parapsychologist. On our last episode, things left off rather abruptly with Amanda. She'd remembered the traveling salesman had been the one who'd introduced her to the Black Door, and she'd begun dreaming of him, or rather, he'd been appearing in her dreams. In the distance, watching her, waiting for her to open the door. She said she'd attempt contact with him in her dreams, against my advice. I have not yet heard from her. Amanda, if you're listening, please, call in. Let us know you're safe. Let us know you haven't opened the door. But let's move on. We have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Who are you and what otherworldly situation have you found yourself in?
Hello, Dr. Ryder. This is Derrick. I've found a new city.
What do you mean?
I was driving through New Mexico along Route 60, and I saw hundreds of skyscrapers, maybe thousands, just sprawling out in all directions. I've been to LA, Chicago, New York, and I've never seen a city this large before, especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Derrick, listen, we need to contact authorities immediately, and whatever you do, do not enter the city.
Well, actually, what would happen if I've already gone in?
Oh. How far in are you?
Well, I'm driving now, several blocks into the city.
What do you see when you look at the people? The people walking the streets, going about their days, the people driving.
I'm not trying to look at them, trying not to stare.
So, you've seen what's wrong with them?
Yes. I mean, no, look, I've been driving all day and night. I don't know what I've seen.
They look normal, don't they? The people. That is, until you stare at one of them for too long. You've done that, haven't you? You held your gaze on one of them for maybe a second longer than you should have, and when you did, their face caved in, turned into an endless tunnel descending inward, lined with rows and rows of sharp teeth, almost like the mouth of a never-ending lamprey eel.
How do you know that?
Friends of mine in college, brother and sister, they love to go to strange places. Sometimes I'd join them, but when they went to the place you're in now, I didn't go on that trip. They were trapped there for months, missed an entire semester at Ravenswood. When they got back, they described the buildings, its inhabitants, and its master to me. Derrick, one of the people there is not like the others. He won't look like those you've already encountered. And he'll carry something on him, a horn made of bone. If you see him, drive away as fast as you can. It's a very large place. With luck, you won't encounter him, and we'll get you out safely.
Doctor, what is this city?
It's not a city, not really. People, real people, don't live there. They don't work there. There's no homes or business or culture, nothing we'd normally define a city by. What it is, it's twists and turns. Large structures you cannot see past, pathways you lose yourself in when you go down them wrong. It's a labyrinth. Can you turn your car around? Do you remember the exact number of turns you made to get where you are?
I'm not sure. I just went with the flow of traffic.
Turn your car around. Drive back the way you came. If traffic or crowds try to block you, that's a good sign. That's the right way. They won't want to let you leave.
There's no street signs. There's nothing to help guide me. There's no... all the people, they've stopped what they're doing. Oh God, they're watching me now. They're staring. Like, I don't want to stare back. To look at any of them, just to see their faces change. There was a sound in the distance.
He knows you're trying to leave. That was quicker than I expected. Derrick, drive. Drive as quick as you can, out of the city. Never mind the traffic, never mind the inhabitants. Do that, and we're going to cut to Today in Odd America. Stay on the line. We'll be right back. Today in Odd America, we find ourselves in New Hampshire. The year 2016. Yes, today marks the tragic 3rd anniversary of the New Hampshire Fog. On this day 3 years ago, a fog descending across the entirety of New Hampshire. Strangely, it remained within the state, the invisible man-made boundary seemingly keeping the fog trapped within. Thousands of New Hampshire residents who worked in neighboring states failed to arrive that morning. Those that ventured into the state for work or school, I'm sorry to say, have not been heard from since. Before noon on this day 3 years ago, National Guard members from Maine, Vermont, and Massachusetts were dispatched to their state borders. Barricades were put in place to prevent further entry into New Hampshire. An expedition group led by the Vermont National Guard journeyed into the fog. All contact was lost before they'd made it 500 feet across the state line. 2 days later, not a single word had come from anyone within New Hampshire. Not one body came out of the fog. The Massachusetts National Guard made an attempt at entry. Those who went had rope tied around their waists to pull them back out if and when contact was lost. And contact was lost. Again, before they'd even made it 500 feet, the Massachusetts expedition was extracted. They were all comatose. Cause unknown. To this day, those men and women remain in this condition. Further attempts were made to breach the state's borders, on ground and by aircraft. Not a single attempt to date has proven successful. The last expedition was conducted by Elon Musk's Boring Company when they created a tunnel beneath the state. 80 of Musk's workers are now comatose. Musk himself remained at the border. He is healthy and fine. National Guard members are posted along the state borders to prevent entry by the public. Tens of thousands make their way there every year, most to pay their respects to loved ones. To this day, the fog still clings to the state of New Hampshire. But that's not where our story ends. It's impossible to talk about the New Hampshire fog without also mentioning the 603 phone calls. On birthdays, holidays, days of personal significance, every person across the country, world, who was close to someone lost in New Hampshire receives phone calls from the state's 603 area code. In every case, there is silence on the line. Silence for roughly 80 seconds, and the call ends. Some have expressed their hatred for these calls, have changed their numbers to cease receiving them. Others relish the 603 calls. For them, they offer hope. Hope that not all is lost, that their missing loved ones might someday return to them, that they are not yet gone from this world. I myself receive a 603 call on a day of personal significance every year. And I am hopeful. This has been Today in Odd America. Now, back to the main show. And we're back. Derrick, are you still with us?
The city inhabitants, I've never seen such hatred in my life. They're all staring at me, like daring me to stare back, to look at them too long. And I have more than once. I keep seeing into them, seeing their faces cave in, like you said, oh God, all their teeth. That's the person, the master of this place you mentioned. The one with the horn of bone?
Never mind that. Are you retracing the way you came?
Oh, look, I think so. Look, I'm doing what you said, going where they don't seem to want me to go. Just keep driving. Don't look at them. Just keep driving. Don't look at them. Driving. Don't look at them. Just keep driving. Don't look at them. Oh, God, I was wrong. I took a wrong turn. It's a dead end. I can't back out. There's too many of them. They're walking behind my car. They're following me, staring. What do I do? What do I do?
You can't drive? You can't go down the other way?
No. They're all blocking me in. Them and skyscrapers. As far as the eye can see.
You need to abandon your car then. Get out and run.
Wait, if I leave my car, I'll be out there with them. There's nothing separating us.
Leave your car immediately. Run into the nearest building and go as high as you can. From there, try to get a sense of where you are, how far away you are from the boundary, the way back to New Mexico.
You make it sound like I'm not in New Mexico anymore.
You emphatically are not in New Mexico, not in America, not anywhere in the world as you understand it. I'm sorry if I haven't properly conveyed that to you.
Oh, come on. Oh, wait, he's here.
Derrick, you need to get into the elevator now.
Wait, he's not entering the building. Wait, he's standing outside, just watching me. His face, it's not like the others. It's not caving in, but it's not human either. He's carrying a horn with him, made of bone, like you said. I've never seen anything like it before. Oh my God, what is he?
Derrick, you need to.
All right, Kev, we're heading towards the top floor. Wait, you said you had friends who came here on purpose?
They did. But they sought out places like where you are. They were drawn to them. Parts of America's shadow.
Wait, they were stuck here for months? Well, look, how did they get out?
The way they took... You won't be able to.
Why not?
They were different. They could do things, travel to places that others can't.
I think I'm here. I'm at the top.
Can you see the boundary? Do you see New Mexico?
Oh, no, I see buildings. If I didn't know any better, I'd say I'm at the center of the labyrinth. Like, probably by the thing downstairs, the master of this place, well, he didn't chase after me. He knows I can't get away, not from where I am.
Derrick, what just happened? Are they entering the building?
Wait, no, the opposite. Actually, all the city inhabitants that follow me, they're dispersing, like moving away from the building I'm in, like going back out into the city and pretending to be people again. Wait, there's a clock on the wall. I don't think it was here when I got off the elevator. His face is different. There's only one small clock hand. It's on a 13. Looks like it's counting down, but the final number isn't a number. It's a horn made of bone.
13 hours until the next hunt begins.
Yeah, wait. There's a note on the clock. It says, Rule 1. You hide. I seek.
My former friends who were trapped in the labyrinth, they said its master was a capricious game player, constantly changing the rules. You are now playing a game against the master of the labyrinth. There are limitations to his power. Each time he creates a new rule, he weakens himself. Each time he blows his horn, he changes the labyrinth in some way. But this also weakens him. In either case, you will potentially be in more danger, but his power will become diluted. What's the next rule?
Rule 2. Find the gateway and you can leave. Do you know what gateway he's talking about? Your friends mentioned one?
Yes. Somewhere in the labyrinth is a gate made of cold iron. The easiest way to leave is to go out the way you entered, but if that way is lost to you, then the cold iron gate is the only other exit. It's the one thing in the labyrinth that the Master has no power over. He cannot change, alter, or hide it from you. Are there any other rules?
There's a third one. No more outside help.
Derrick? Derrick! Derrick, I sincerely doubt you can hear this, but please know, despite that last rule, I will do everything in my power to help you find the way out. Soon as the show's over, I'll be making some phone calls. With that, I believe it's time we end the show tonight. I have further work to do in order to help Derrick. Remember, if you're experiencing the supernatural, unexplainable, or paranormal, please give me a call. Next time on A Voice from Darkness.
Thanks for listening to A Voice from Darkness. That was Justin Bechtold as Derrick and Kristin Holland as Dr. Malcolm Ryder. Kristin comes to us courtesy of the Nocturnal Transmissions short horror story podcast. If you'd like to hear more of Kristin's work, you can find Nocturnal Transmissions wherever good podcasts are purveyed. In our next episode of A Voice from Darkness, one night, decades ago, an entire town was claimed by the Jack-o'-lantern murders. Dr. Ryder travels there to tell you this town's story. Until then, I'm Jac Rhys. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed our show, please consider rating and reviewing wherever you listened. It helps some more listeners like yourself find us. Thank you.